We've had these periods where Stephen Foster captured some essence of America at that time in the 19th century. John Philip Sousa as its century turned. Aaron Copland during the Depression years and early war years, Irving Berlin, not to mention Pete Seeger and Bob Dylan. But my point is that you, with your music, captured some essence of the country at a period in the mid to late 20th century. What is that? When you sit down to write, do you have that in your head, or is that a result of what the public's reaction to the music is?
Certainly in the 60s, as a young fella, sort of unproven, really without success yet. But you always, at least I did, you always have in your mind the exalted ones, the people you really admire. Of course, from my mom, I'd heard about Irving Berlin and Hoagy Carmichael, and I came to really admire, let's say, the people from her era, still do very much. And then there were the people from the rock and roll era, like Lieber and Stoller, or of course Lennon and McCartney from the Beatles, Bob Dylan. I admired them and thought of their music as being, their songs as being way up here, and hoping in your heart of hearts that someday maybe you'll join them. And I really didn't until one day I wrote Proud Mary. And it was really my first good song. I mean, really, really good song. And I was sitting there as, it was probably 80% finished, 85%. And I was aware that at that right then, that it was a really great song, far above me. I just thought, man, this is a classic. It just felt that way.
Well, it has become a classic,
right.
Which raises a question. So much of your music is timeless. My grandson's high school to college, even they, when I say even they, we're talking in the middle of the second decade of the 20th century, about music that was written in the 1960s and 70s. They know the words to all the songs. It's classic. Now, that raises the question, what makes a classic?
Oh, Dan. I'm not sure I can put it in words. I just think it's something you feel, and I think millions of people do it that same way. And I'm not sure that you can tell the other person what that is. I mean, to be a very poor science professor, you could say things like, well, economy of words, or a good melody, a memorable melody, something that rings true in your heart, that perhaps that states something you believe. And
that touches other people's hearts and goes
well,
from generation.
For it to be a classic, I suppose you would have to have numbers.
Right.
So, I mean, I would be very poor at trying to describe it, because I'm not sure it can be described. I sure know you sense it when you hear it.
And you sense with Proud Mary from the beginning that it was really good, the best thing you'd ever done.
Yes. Yes, and beyond that, I mean, I really felt that it measured up to those other people and those other songs that I admired so greatly. That's why I was so excited. I would say almost scared. There's probably a better word, but I was trembling, holding the paper and looking at it, because it was sort of like holding nitroglycerin or something. Whoa, this thing's so something. I don't want to drop it and have it just blow up. I was very agitated about it because it hadn't happened to me before, and yet I was darn sure that this is a classic. This is a great song.